everybody, my name is Python and welcome back to another episode here of Minecraft Survival from Python's World. Goodness me, episode 50 is fast approaching. We've got today's episode and two other ones, and then episode 50 is here, the very first map download and world tour of this entire series. That's kind of bonkers, isn't it? We started this series way back in January. It's definitely taken us a fair while to get to this point, hasn't it, folks? But since returning back to doing daily content for this series, things have been going well, haven't they? Now today, my friends, the name of the game is Odd Jobs. That is right. I've got three big things I want to get done today. One of them being quite a nice, fun one, actually, which is to tame a donkey and breed up a mule to populate the two remaining stables we have in this settlement. The second thing is a pretty big one, and that is to decorate and light up the raised walkway surrounding Firefly Falls here. And then the third one, we're gonna do a little bit of landscape, and we're finally gonna get to work on covering up certain areas. For example, where this eventual hidden settlement is going to go, I'd very much like to cover up the terrain here and there and up there, so it plunges this area into darkness, thus enhancing the forgotten feel. So we got ourselves a saddle, and now we just need a chest. There we are. The good news is, I recall seeing a donkey or two in our nearby savannah/plains biome area. Just got to locate where they are and tame one. After going to sleep, that is. Last thing I want is to die out in the open in the nighttime. That's a big fat no-no, isn't it, my friends? But anyways, as we go ahead and continue to look for some donkeys, it gives me an opportunity to say a big old thank you for all of your lovely support as of late. It's so nice to see all of the lovely comments and all of the hype rolling in as a result of us going back to the old days of doing daily Python's World content. So seriously, my friends, thank you so much. I appreciate the support a lot. Check it out. We got a donkey. Oh, there's another donkey. Ooh, okay, very, very good. Let's see what kind of stats we can get going on with these donkey fellas. Wait, there's a third donkey there. Now, so far as I can remember, these guys always have roughly the same speed and jump stats, right? So I think the only thing we need to look for in terms of good stats is, what, health? This guy's got 11 hearts. I wonder if we could get a better amount of hearts with a different donkey. Oh, that's only got 10. What about this third donkey? 10 hearts again. All right. So it was actually first time lucky. Come on then, 11 heart donkey. Let's get you back to base. Oh, wait. I just realized I never put a chest on this guy. Plop. There we go. Ah, very interesting. So I've just checked out the wiki entry for donkeys, and it turns out the jump height and speed stats aren't around the same. They're always the same. It's just the amount of health that varies on a donkey-to-donkey basis, apparently. I must admit, I didn't know that. I thought you could get donkeys with varying speeds and jump heights, so I've learned something new today. Before we put this donkey away, I think we're going to breed up a mule. So, let me just grab out some of these here golden carrots, do a little bit of this, and a little bit of, let's breed you with the white horse. Why not? There he is! Oh my goodness me, you're so adorable, though. All right, little buddy, let's get you all grown up. There we are. Right, what kind of stats are you rolling around with? 11 hearts of health. Speed seems pretty alright, doesn't it? What about jump height? I mean, mule jump heights are never going to be as good as horse jump heights, but let's go ahead and see what this guy is capable of. Can he do 2 blocks? Yep. 2.5? No. Okay, so just 2. Let's quickly take this guy through the speed tester. 45. I mean, for a mule, that's not actually too bad. It's not much worse than the slower horse we had. Yeah, we did have a horse that was like 43 speed. I decided to head back out into the world and go take myself a better one, so we had an even better breeding pair to start off with. And in terms of where we've gotten to with the breeding, look at the jump heights we've got going on here, and the health. It's just the speed of the white horse that's kind of lacking. But all in all, I feel like we're making some okay progress in terms of trying to get ourselves some really, really good horses bred up. As I mentioned a couple of episodes ago, it's going to be one of those things that I just continue to work on randomly throughout the course of this series. Maybe I could do it in the form of streams. Maybe I could just dedicate a random segment of whatever episode to breeding up horses. But anyways, here we are. We've got ourselves a mule. Let's go ahead and put a chest on this guy. And there we are. We've finally populated the little side stable that's attached to what has become my cartography house. Now to put this donkey in its brand new home, this little stable right here next to the sheep shearing tower. Well, one of them. It's so nice to finally have these stables populated now. They've been sat empty for the longest time. Having these things finally be populated just adds a little bit more life to the world and the settlement, right? So, yeah. Feels good. So, with the obtaining of the donkey and the mule taken care of, it's now time to get on to what is probably the biggest part of today's Odd Jobs episode, and that is decorating and lighting this raised walkway. And I think how we're going to do it is much the same way we decorated the raised walkway in Flora Valley on the original Python's World. We get ourselves a bunch of redstone lamps, flower pots, leaves, walls, that kind of stuff, and just sort of randomly dot it around the edge. Real quick before I get on with the raised walkway there, you might have noticed I've had a diamond axe on my hotbar, and, well, as you can see, I'm starting to build it up. We've got the log feller axe. This axe is entirely dedicated to the log felling area that we made in the last episode, so I decided let's go above and beyond. This one has sharpness 5 in addition to everything else, so all I need to do is get the mending on there, and then we need to come up with an awesome name for this as well. The pointy chopper. Yeah, I like that. Oh, and there goes the anvil. At some point, of course, we'll get this thing upgraded up to netherite, but for now, I think diamond will do us quite nicely. So, there we go, the log fella back in its proper home in the Logfeller's outpost. So then, a lot of stuff is required for the decorating and lighting up of the raised walkway. I think we need to make a shopping list. Glowstone for the redstone lamps, redstone for the redstone lamps, quartz for the daylight detectors, glass for the daylight detectors, the daylight detectors themselves, the redstone lamps themselves, a crazy amount of leaves, a whole bunch of mossy and regular cobble walls, a little bit of a snooze to rid the rain, and finally, with our non-silk touch shovel, we're gonna need a ton of clay balls for flower pots. Let's get these bad boys smelted, and while they're smelting, I see no reason why we can't make a bit of a start on this thing, folks. I think the first thing I might want to try and figure out, though, is the lighting situation, and I'm gonna have to be surprisingly in depth with the placement of these lights, because I need to find a good balance between there not being a massive lag spike each time these redstone lamps automatically turn on in the evening as a result of having millions of them, versus making sure this walkway is lit up enough at night to the point where no hostile mobs ever spawn up here. So yeah, I'm going to have to be pretty particular about it. Unfortunately for us, it is slap bang in the middle of the day, so I don't really know what the light levels are going to do. Unless I was to have the daylight detectors in daylight mode, in that when it's daylight, the lights turn on. That way, I've got the safety of it being daytime, and I can still keep an eye on the block light levels, right? I've decided to get out some spruce logs as well, and they can act as the base of the lamppost. So we've got 1, 2 cobble walls, and then I'm thinking we go for the redstone lamps. Nice and easy like, right? And then we bring up the F3 screen. Once again, 4th line down from the top left, we're looking at the block numbers. If they ever go down to 0, that means hostile mobs will be able to spawn. The areas we really need to keep an eye on are the areas furthest away from the edge. So we've got a 1 right here. Perhaps we are in need of another lamppost as a result. So let's go and do another one right here. We break this, and we check out the light levels once again. Got 5s and 7s. Yeah, nice and easy, my friends. No hostile mobs are going to be spawning here anytime soon. Now, that is interesting. All of these daylight detectors up on the raised walkway are currently in day mode. So, does that simply mean that the redstone lamps are just turned on 24/7? And then in night mode, they're only turned on at night? I always thought the modes were sort of vice versa. Oh, wait, no, hang on. Oh, okay, so they are vice versa. I was just going to say, I was really doubting my Minecraft knowledge there for a second. Just turns out it takes a fair while for the daytime mode to deactivate. Anyway, no matter. Let's go to sleep. Let's get these things turned back on, and let's continue on with the placing of the redstone lamps. Alrighty, folks, so we're now all the way round to the aqueduct, and when it comes to these covered sections, I've decided to get rid of the torches entirely and place down some more redstone lamps just in the ceiling. It looks a lot cleaner without torches, doesn't it? Very, very simple to do. Just dig 2 blocks up into the ceiling, place down a daylight detector, right click so it turns into night mode, and then away you go. Nice and easy. I think one more maybe over this way, just to ensure that there's enough light in here so that no hostile mobs spawn in. And yeah, we'll be looking pretty good, I think. And ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, this is the last lamppost to be placed down. Nice. I feel like they're relatively equally spaced out all along the pathway here, right? And I've managed to do it in such a way that absolutely no blocks have a 0 light level. In other words, no hostile mobs should ever be able to spawn up here. I mean, they might still be able to spawn up on some of these dirt mounds right next to the path, but in terms of spawning on the pathway itself, no. Never gonna happen. So real quick, let's just do a lap of turning these to night mode. I imagine some of them will remain turned on despite turning them to night mode, especially if there's any overhangs covering them over, but that's neither here nor there. This will be turned to night mode, and as you can see, the leaves mean that even despite this thing being in night mode, it will still be turned on. And also, it's becoming evening time, so these are all going to mass turn on anyway. I just really hope that we don't wind up with like a massive lag spike every evening, because that is something that happened on the original Python's world. There was a lag spike that happened every single evening without fail. Anyway, time to move on to the placing of a few random posts here and there, upon which will be a flower pot. Oh, snap. We're going to be going absolutely mad with the flower pots here today, my friendos. Oh, yeah. The flower pot king is so back. There we go. All of the posts have been placed down. Oh, my goodness me. Name a more satisfying sight in Minecraft than a whole bunch of bricks that are about to be converted into a whole bunch of flower pots. 2 stacks of them. 66 flower pots is the amount I've just placed down. So we've got 66 flowers, 22 of each. So let's go ahead and get all these bad boys placed in. Am I the only one who's wondering what this place would smell like if we had like smell-o-vision? For any of you pollen sufferers out there, I am one of them as well, I imagine this place would be absolute hell for you. But it looks pretty, right? And that makes it worth it, right? Anyway, never mind. Here we go. That's the last of the flowers placed in. And now we go crazy with the leaves. Oh, snappers. I mean, literally the leaves are going to fill up the entire rest of the space, basically forming a bit of a wall. And ladies and gentlemen, quite a heck of a lot of leaf placing later. And there we are. We have a fully decorated raised walkway. Do you know what? I think we've done a pretty darn good job here. This looks so much better now than it did before with just sort of the plain Jane walkways we had before. We've got the leaf railings going on. We've got some lamps. We've got some flower pots complete with flowers. It just looks so good, doesn't it? Dude, I'm actually, like, seriously, I'm giving myself a pat on the back for this. This looks really nice. So, checking out the walkway from a few different angles. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I wonder how the grand portal looks now that we finally got the walkway decorated. Let's do a bit of a 180, have a bit of a look. Oh, yes. Yes, 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 and yes. That is looking beautiful. All right, how about if we take a look at this from the skies? Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. So, with the walkway finally taken care of, it is time to get on with the final odd job for today's episode. A mid-sized odd job, if you will. We are finally going to get on with some landscaping here. In particular, covering up areas that are exposed to the sky where they have no business being exposed to the sky. In other words, I just want to smooth off some rough edges here and there. So for this, we're going to need ourselves quite a lot of grass, probably quite a lot of dirt, and then I'm thinking quite a lot of stone as well. The holy trifecta of landscaping in Minecraft, I think. So, let's start off nice and easy, shall we? We've got ourselves this little gap I want to plug up here, and I think how we're going to do this is we're going to start off with a layer of stone, and then a layer of dirt, and then maybe like a layer of grass. We don't need to go too over the top or extravagant with this. I just want to plug this up and make it look all nice and natural. So that's the stone layer sorted. I'd say this is looking pretty good so far. Do you know what? I don't think we need to go for a layer of grass. This should just grass over by itself with time, right? Yeah. So this was open, and now it isn't. It's been completely plunged into darkness. And I gotta tell you, I'm actually really liking this sort of spooky vibe we've got going on. There's a couple more areas that I want to get done. There's a slightly larger area there, and a big area here also to cover up. So let's do this area to the side here next. Once again, starting off with a layer of stone. So here we go. The stone layer for this second area has been taken care of. I feel like there might be more landscaping to be done here than meets the eye. Only there's quite a lot of elevation difference around here, isn't there? We've got some big old cliffs going on up here. And as I was mentioning before, I'd really like to sort of smooth out any rough edges with the terrain. Alrighty, so down on this side, I've opened the terrain up a little bit to make it look a bit more natural. And yeah, I think we've done a pretty alright job with this second section. Alright, let's go check on the darkness levels now. Oh my goodness me. That really is quite something though, isn't it? Enderman, oh you silly, oh what are you doing? Okay, I'm about to have an Enderman chase my boy. Hey, you son of a, not today. Sunshine. But yeah, as you can see, it has become a haven for hostile mobs to spawn on in. I am very glad now that I have these fence gates here. Ain't no one getting into Firefly Falls from this eventual forgotten dark settlement here. Alright, just one section to do now, and that is this big old open area here. Oh, snappers. Alright, so there we go. Stone layer added, and now we can start going ham with some grass, and that should complete this here final area I want to get filled in for today's episode. I dare say there's some other areas I might also want to fill in. But yeah, for now, I just wanted to work on making the forgotten settlement feel just a little bit more, well, forgotten. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go. So check it out what this place looks like underneath now. Oh, snappity snap snappers. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. I think the only thing I might want to do is maybe, I don't know, shore up the stone here. There's kind of like a right angle here, and it's a bit harsh, isn't it? We need to make that look a bit more natural. But for now, in terms of plunging this area into darkness, dude, we have done the job so well. Question though, do we want to go to the lengths of blocking off this entire area here I mean, we could. That would really help to plunge this area down here into darkness. Right? Maybe the aqueduct is like an integral part of this eventual cliff. I actually really like that idea. I think we should fill this area up here as well. It's taken quite a while and quite a lot of stone and grass, but I think I've got something I quite like the look of. The only thing I think I need to do is maybe add some dirt into the mix. It looks a little bit kind of strange right now with just stone and grass. But in terms of proof of concept, I think we have something that looks pretty good. The question is, now, how dark is the Forgotten Settlement looking? Let's pop in here. Oh, bunch of dudes. Yeah, this has inadvertently turned into a mob arena, huh? But yeah, look at it. Dude. I think we've done a really, really good job here. I mean, as I mentioned before, there's definitely still some terrain smoothing to be done, but we can do that another episode. For now, though, I feel like we've got something really good going on here. And then if we pop out and do a little bit of a 180, we've still got the little aqueduct area up there. I mean, it's still yet to be decorated and properly finished, but yeah, we pop up here, and yeah, as you can see, the aqueduct is now part of the man-made cliff face I've got going on here now. Dude, I don't know about you folks, but I am actually legitimately chuffed with the progress we made today. It's been an episode of Odd Jobs, but I tell you something, you do enough Odd Jobs, and it totals up to become a big difference you make in your world, isn't it, folks? I mean, take this walkway, for example. It looked really, really barren before, and now it is just bristling with life. So, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up today's episode. Let me just clean up my inventory, and then we'll do the comment of the day. Today's comment of the day comes from Abu Sak YT, who asks, "Hi Python, I was wondering if it is possible to get the world download on Bedrock. Also, another great and entertaining episode." Well, thank you very much for the kind words, buddy. I appreciate that. Now, in terms of the world downloads, historically, I have only ever provided map downloads for Java Edition, as that is the Minecraft edition I am playing. I am pretty sure that there are plenty of world download converters out there, but if I'm honest, it's never really been something I've tried to look into myself. Maybe we could turn a new chapter here on the Python MC channel. Maybe I could try to provide map downloads for both Java and Bedrock. If I manage to figure out how to do it, and if it winds up being a nice and simple process, then yeah, I will do my best for you folks. Episode 50 is only a few days away if we continue with the daily Python's World content. So yeah, I've got a little bit of time to try and figure it out. I just hope that I can. But anyways, for now, my friends, that is going to wrap it up for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed today's Odd Jobs episode. We actually made a surprising amount of progress with Firefly Falls as a result of doing all the Odd Jobs. So yeah, I think it definitely pays off to do these Odd Jobs episodes every now and again. So if you've enjoyed today's episode, drop a like. I'd very much appreciate it. And of course, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on my future content. For now, though, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you folks in the next one. Bye-bye.